The year after I graduated from undergrad, I sold my car and bought a one-way ticket to Guatemala. I placed my hopes and dreams of working in microfinance in the palms of an organization I knew very little about, and a country whose location I could barely spot on a map. I took a huge leap of faith, and I fell flat on my face. Managing Indigenous Guatemalan women to start small businesses in rural communities sounded amazing when I read the job description in the States. But when I got down there, my day-to-day reality was worlds different from what I thought it would be. I really sucked at saving the world, and I struggled to cope with the alcoholism, violence, and poverty that constantly surrounded me. The stressful living conditions and my own shortfalls as an effective development worker left me feeling weak and emotionally drained. And after 2 long years, I returned to the States, leaving a trail of cigarette butts, alcohol, and gray hair in my wake. Here at Harvard, I've had many conversations with classmates who at some point have felt the same way. I began to wonder if right alongside those heart-thumping and spirited conversations we've all had about creating change and making an impact, if there has been a more quiet, internal dialogue asking, am I really going to be good enough to do this work? How am I ever going to make a living doing what it is I really want to do? So when I returned from Guatemala, I spent 3 months moping around the house, devastated that I'd failed so badly, and wondering what I was going to do next. As luck would have it, one conversation with a close friend changed it all, and to him I will be forever grateful. After hearing my dilemma, he simply told me, "Listen, Arathi, you're never going to be able to change the world, but you sure can change yourself. Shift your focus," he said. "Think small," he said. "Why don't you just try to get out there tonight and do something kind for a stranger? Just do something kind. Trust me, you'll see what I'm talking about." And I was intrigued. So later that evening, I ventured out into the cold and rainy night and searched for something to do. A couple of people walked past me, and I totally chickened out. I thought, they're going to think I'm crazy. This is such a stupid idea. But my feet eventually led me to Central Square, and I saw a homeless man on the side of the road, shivering in the cold. Before I knew it, I had 2 cups of tea in my hands and was nervously walking toward him. I said, "Excuse me, sir. I saw you shivering, and I wanted to know if you'd like a cup of tea." Barely looking up, he accepted. I sat down next to him and drank my tea with him in silence, grateful for the warmth of the cup in my hands. As I gathered my things to leave, he looked over at me and simply said, "Hey, thanks for looking out for me." The look of sincerity on his face and the simplicity of his words touched me so deeply. And in the end, I knew that the tea didn't really mean that much. He was going to be cold again in another 15 minutes. But the brief seconds we shared together were humanizing. And for the first time in a long time, I felt connected, and I felt useful. Our challenge that we face today is to truly understand that our calls to service can begin today in small, beautiful ways. Our challenge is to understand the power of small change. Here at Harvard, we have all suffered the intellectual headache which comes with thinking long and hard about the intensely complex and seemingly impossible challenges that we have been tasked with solving. And in the middle of all this, I have found that consistently engaging in small, unquantifiable, and seemingly negligible acts of service has been an absolute blessing in disguise. It has kept my heart beating to the pulse of the community that I live in. It has kept me connected and motivated, and the word burnout no longer plays an important role in my vernacular. We've all made a somewhat dangerous decision of choosing a line of work that is tough during the best of times and can potentially drain us quickly if we are not careful. Do not become another definition of irony. Do not become that stressed out development worker with dark circles under her eyes, an alcohol problem, and an addiction to cigarettes. This summer, I will be riding my bike across the U.S. in an effort to reevaluate my own definition of service. Furthermore, this ride will be done in the spirit of kindness. I plan on doing 10 acts of kindness per day during the 90-day ride from Boston to San Francisco. I need 4 more people to join me on this mission. 5 of us doing 10 random acts of kindness per day. That's 50 random acts of kindness per day for 90 days. 4,500 random acts of kindness that will touch 4,500 people and inspire them to do 4,500 more random acts. Imagine the ripple effect. Imagine the transformation. You are all young and healthy, and you have 3 entire months off before embarking on your amazing careers. Don't let that time go to waste. This is your chance to transform yourself and the lives of strangers across the country. Join me this June in understanding why we came to serve in the first place. Join me in riding to create a ripple effect of kindness throughout the country.